It's April 23rd. We're here in the courtyard at Lambspun, and we've got one of my favorite friends from way back, Marci Baker. She is a well-known quilter, and she's developed a value tool that is brand new to the industry. I believe it was introduced in December. She's going to share that tool with us and tell us how it applies to fiber arts and the fiber artists. And we're just going to revel in color today. This is all about color. We've got a table full of new things to show you, and we're going to let Marci be the leader in telling us all about her value tool.
Thank you, Shirley, for having me. I'm so glad to be here and to figure out that the value tool I developed for quilters can be also applied easily to yarn and fiber arts. So let me just show that real quick, that it looks like this.
Perfect.
And so it has a lot of cards that give us value. And I'm going to go into value is what makes a particular design. And Shirley happens to have a sweater here that the value difference between, like this piano key, the black and the white, that's high contrast. So that makes a design that stands out. If we want something more subtle, then we have values closer to each other. And I'm going to show this example of this Virgin Islands hat, and it's in the book, The National Parks Hats.
Very popular knitting book here.
Yeah. And so this is what they're representing, is a picture of the beach at Virgin Islands, and then we have the pink kind of as a setting it off. And we've made the hat. I'm going to have you hold that. The hat was made, and we picked yarns that kind of went with the colors that we thought that it was asking for on the side here. And if you look at it, the palm trees, the green, does not show up against the sky. The values are too close to each other to see the design. So we want to figure out how can we, what should we have done to pick the fabrics or pick the fibers. And I've got them laid out here on the table. And what I would do, I'm going to have you hold that picture up. These value cards that are in the set, you either pick bright and cheery, which is one set of cards, or you pick calm and cozy, is what I call it, toned fabrics.
I'm actually going to have you guys move this way a little bit.
Okay. The sun. Yep. So we have, the cards have light to dark of each colorway in either toned or bright. You pick which part you want out of the book or out of the set. And they're labeled 1 through 5. And so what I would do if I want to make this, I would take a card that matches the colorway close enough. It doesn't have to match exactly. And I would see what's the best match. So you can see as I place that over there, that looks like a dot on that particular shape. I'm using the small part of it. And this one, the dot is closer. It's not showing up as much. And whenever we pulled it there, it's almost like it. It's a little bit lighter and a little bit darker. And so what I'm going to do is use this large hole to go find a fiber that is between those two. And here I have pulled this one here, so we wanted a 3 point, between a 3 and a 4. And you can see the hole there. It's lighter there. So this is too light. And I went and picked this one up. And this one is darker than a 3, but lighter than a 4. So this is the colorway that we're looking for as far as value. It's going to give us that nice bright color on her hat.
Very cool.
So then we're going to look for what value is that teal that's there. And that's need darker than that. And it's matching pretty much that. If we could keep going, and we can see a circle showing up there because it's lighter. So we're going to want a 3. And we're going to get close to it. And we're going to, as we're looking at this,
wow,
this is darker than a 2, a little bit lighter than a 3, but for, you're limited in yarns, and I'll talk about how you can change value, but this one will work. It's close enough into the color or the value that we need. So you would pick each one of them, and I have a grayscale that you can use, and we can use it to pick the neutrals, or you can use it for all of these, but it's easier to see a color compared that we're comfortable with. So we need something lighter than that, but darker than the white of the printed. So we've gone with, I've picked one yarn was this one, and you can see it's darker than all of those, and we'll talk about how we can change that. Or we have this that's lighter than everything here, and we want something that's a little bit between those two, and it's almost white. So one option would be to mix these two.
Which we do in that hat.
Yes, the hat is actually knitted
strands.
2 strands, and so we can mix these two to get something that's lighter than this because we're adding light, or darker than this because we're adding dark. And up here on the wall, we have examples of how we changed values. So you picked, this is the value, this is the colorway. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. This is the colorway that we want to work with, but we figured out that we need a value that's lighter than this. And so you can mix it with, say, this lighter pink and lavender. And when we spin it together, or we would knit it together, right? 2 strands.
We do both.
We can get this lighter value. You can see how this one is darker than that. And so it's also it kind of blends it together. The other option, if we need really light, we can add a cream to it. And that's what this one here is showing. We've added this cream to this fiber, and now we get this mix that's a lot lighter than that. You can see the value difference there. So it's going to be in the colorway, but it's lighter. So that's one way that we can't do that in quilting with fabric.
But
you can
with
actually
yarn.
mix the yarns and get the color or the value that
Awesome.
you want. So,
we need your hair every day.
So
It's very useful.
we can help pick the values using these tools. And I want to show an example before we had this tool that we did this hat. And the value that was used for the green and the value for the sky are too close together. When you squint at it, or when you're looking at it from a distance, it just blends. So you have like these sticks sticking up, and it doesn't look like palm trees. So what we would do is we've already chosen it, we've already done all the work, and it's like, I did all that work, now what? I can't see what I want.
Fix it.
Fix it. We're not going to unknit it. We are going to add a duplicate stitch, and that's going to emphasize the palm tree. And it kind of looks more like trees rather than defining each palm, but it makes it look like trees that are on the stems rather than, or on the trunks.
It's more exciting too.
Yeah, it's more exciting because now you have this value change. So that's how, one, we can pick the colors that we need and be successful to match what's in the book. Or if we picked what we thought and then we get to the end and go, oh my gosh, we can use the duplicate stitch to stand out. And I'm sure there are other ways that this can be adjusted, but
I think
this
we'll
was the
do
way.
both.
I think it worked out really well, and we'll go finish this up so that the hat looks the same all the way around. Might be a good idea. We did talk about blending the fibers, and this is really a neat stocking that Paula did, that we have. It's it's 2 strand. Mm-hmm. I'm not a knitter, so I have to ask Shirley.
Yeah, it's a double strand, and she wanted to do shading, a gradient here.
Okay.
So you can explain what she
Okay,
did. Yeah.
so here it's the 2 strand of the yellow, and then she took away the one yellow and added in the green, and then she took away the other yellow, and now we're on 2 strands of green, and then she adds in the teal, again with 1 teal, 1 green, and then she blended into the teal here, and then she added even darker teal. So
Exciting.
she got this gradation behind these bunny rabbits that are on this particular design. So that's a cute stocking.
This has got it just evolutionarily changed through the making of these stockings to a very wonderful artistic level. We're very proud of this.
Okay, wonderful. That's awesome. Okay, so that's the value tool, and you can get it at Lambspun.
Yes,
And I think Shirley's probably one of the first yarn shops that has gotten it in.
I think this applies at least as much to yarn as it
definitely.
does to quilting,
Yeah.
but I can see it for all fiber arts.
Yeah.
And it's $19.95. We've got them ready to go. It looks to me like you take these apart a lot and use them individually as well.
Yeah, it comes with a post that you can unscrew.
Okay.
But I find that adding it on a ring, which doesn't ship very well, go ahead and buy a ring and put it
versatile.
on that, and you can lay it out, fan it out, and you can pull the cards off that you want.
And in the store already, we've been putting samples of yarn, just a little slip stitch, to show the colors we're trying to match.
Yep.
And
I like that.
Even a color swatch can be attached to the colorway to help you then find the other colors that go together.
Yep.
So particularly for artists that have huge workshop pieces, they don't want to bring in their entire creation.
Yeah.
They can have a
Do
representative bring this in, and we can help develop
some
the
yards.
whole project.
Very cool.
It's very nice.
Cool. This is great.
We're hoping to share more with Marci. We'll encourage her to come back and maybe teach a workshop, or just continue to share what she's doing. And we stay tuned next week. But we do have a couple more things to share with you.
Okay.
We have
I'll let you get by there.
Yes, we have a spinner, a sheep expert.
Yes.
We're going to
Well,
steal
we are
that.
applying together these two. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Now you can talk.
Oh, there we go. So we're plying these two together, and while you were speaking, I could see what we were doing with the plying applies to all of the things you're talking
It's
about.
wonderful. It's a
Because-
spinner's tool.
Right. We had a black yarn that we wanted to give some more depth to and to lighten it up and brighten it, and so we are applying it with a brighter thread and or
Who is
yarn.
this?
I forget the name. Do you have a name for him? But this was plied with a lot, and you see the depth of color and
She does hand spinning for her crocheted sheep.
yes, well,
Very special little sheep here.
we're trying to make a black sheep now. We have one black sheep, but we're trying to get another one in here who has a different dynamic than
This is all hand spun.
yeah,
Just adorable.
cute tail.
So again, we're in the high contrast here with our
Yes.
sheep. And we're going to continue to share with you make and takes that are going to happen more and more when it becomes time for summer, especially if you just want to take a little one-day class. And Jan is going to be teaching the little crocheted sheep. So stay tuned. Let us know if you're interested. We'll be posting more news about the make and take classes.